In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Come, divine will, come and pray in our praying. Jesus, we ask you to think in our thoughts. Gaze through our eyes. Listen in our listening. Speak in our speaking. Move in our moving. Breathe in our breathing. Beat within our hearts beating. Pray within our praying, Jesus, for the glory of the Father and for the quick coming of your kingdom on earth. I fuse into your sacred heart, and there I find all the acts of all creatures, past, present, and future, that you redid on behalf of all, in order to repair the Father and give the glory, as if all souls had lived in your divine will. And so I enter into your thoughts that you thought on behalf of all souls. And I go around taking these divine thoughts of yours and place them within the thoughts of each creature, past, present, and future, so that each and every thought rising up to the throne of God is infinite, eternal, and immense, offers you divine love, and calls and cries out for the kingdom of your divine will to reign as soon as possible. And if there are sinful thoughts, I pour your precious blood over these thoughts. I offer everything you suffered in your mind throughout your entire life in order to repair for all of the sinful thoughts, past, present, and future. I fly through each gaze, and within each gaze I place your divine gazes of love, Jesus. And I offer the eternal Father the glory as if all creatures had gazed in the divine will. And I make each gaze a prayer to ask you for your kingdom. I do the same with each word spoken. I offer you the glory as if all creatures had spoken with your divine lips, with your divine voice. And I fly through all generations. And anytime creatures make noises with their mouths, each time creatures raise their voices, may you experience rising up within each voice divine praise, asking you to send your kingdom quickly upon the earth. Fiat, fiat, fiat. Flying through every movement of creature, in each and every one of their heartbeats and breaths. I place your divine heartbeat and your divine breath in all of their steps, in their works, in their motion. Holy, holy, holy. Spread throughout all creation. Heaven and earth are full of your glory. Fiat voluntas tua from within each and every soul. I want to read from the first hour of agony in the garden, from the hours of the Passion. And Jesus, you promised Luisa that for each and every word that creatures would read or pray, that you would save a soul for each and every word. And so we enter into your humanity, and we want you to be the one praying this within us. So that all the effects of everything you suffered in your passion during this hour may be multiplied again for the world. My afflicted Jesus, I feel drawn into this garden as though by an electric current. I understand that you, powerful magnet of my wounded heart, are calling me, and I run, thinking to myself, what are these attractions of love I feel within me? Oh, maybe my persecuted Jesus is in such a state of agony as that he feels the need of my company, and I fly to him. But upon entering this garden, to my surprise, horror overtakes me. The darkness of the night, the intensity of the cold, and the slow motion of the leaves that rustle like weak voices announce sorrows, sadness, and death for my sorrowful Jesus. The sweet glittering of the stars, like attentive gazing eyes that weep, reproach me for my ingratitude, and I tremble. I gropingly go in search of Jesus, and I call out to him, Jesus, where are you? How is it that you call out to me and do not reveal yourself? You call out to me, and yet you hide. The night is filled with terror. Fear and profound silence pervade all things. I attune my ears and hear a labored breath, and it is Jesus himself that I find. but he has undergone such a grim change. No longer is he the sweet Jesus of the Eucharistic supper, whose face shone with radiance and enrapturing beauty, but he is cloaked with sadness, a mortal sadness that has disfigured his divine beauty. He has already entered into a state of agony, and it appears that he may die. I worry to think that I may no longer hear his voice. I embrace his feet. I become braver and approach his arms, and, placing my hand upon his forehead to sustain him, I softly say to him, "Jesus, Jesus." And he, shaken by my voice, looks at me and says, "Child, are you here? I was waiting for you. Do you wish to know the cause of my sadness, that which oppresses me the most? It is the total abandonment of everyone. I was waiting for you to allow you to witness my sorrows, and to let you drink along with me the chalice of bitterness which, in a little while, my heavenly Father will send me through an angel. We will drink from it together, as it will not be a chalice of comfort, but one of intense bitterness. I am in need of a few loving souls who will drink at least a few drops of it. This is why I called out to you, that you may accept this chalice, share in my sorrows, and assure me that you will not leave me in this great state of abandonment. Oh yes, my panting Jesus, let us drink together from your bitter chalice. Let us together endure your sorrows. Never shall I leave your side. Reassured by me, afflicted Jesus enters into his mortal agony and suffers torments never before seen nor understood. And I, unable to contain myself, and wanting to partake in his passion and console him, say, "Tell me, why are you so sad, afflicted, and alone in this garden and on this night? This is the last night of your life on earth. Only a few hours remain before you begin your public passion. I thought that at least here I would find my heavenly Mother, the loving Magdalene, and the faithful apostles. But instead I find you all alone, prey to a sadness which gives you a ruthless death without making you die. O my love and my all, why do you not answer? Please speak to me. It seems as though the sadness that oppresses you is so intense that you cannot utter a word. O my Jesus, that gaze of yours, radiant with light, but afflicted and searching, seems to search for help. Everything tells me that you are alone and desire my company. Your pale face, your lips parched with love, your divine person trembling from head to toe, and your heart that beats so loudly within you in search of souls, cause you such labor that it seems that any moment now you will breathe your last. I am here with you, O Jesus, and yet I don't have the heart to see you prostrate on the ground. I take you in my arms and press you to my heart. I wish to count one by one the offenses that advance toward you, and one by one your internal acts that face these offenses, so that I may comfort you in everything, and at least offer you my compassion in all of your reparations and in all that which you endure. But, O my Jesus, while I hold you in my arms, your sufferings increase. My life, I feel fire flowing in your veins. I feel your blood boiling, wanting to burst your veins and overflow. Tell me, my love, what is it? I do not see the whips or thorns, neither the nails nor the cross. And yet, when I place my head upon your heart, I feel the bitter thorns of sins that pierce your head and unleash ruthless scourges on your divine person that spare not even the slightest part of your soul and body, thus rendering your hands more contorted and paralyzed than the nails the soldiers will use. Tell me, beloved Jesus, goodness itself, who has so much power, even in your interior, to torment you and make you suffer as many deaths as there are torments that you experience? Oh, it seems that blessed Jesus opens his faint and dying lips and says to me, my child, do you want to know what it is that torments me more than my executioners? Indeed, the executioner's tortures are nothing compared to this. It is eternal love, which, wanting the primacy in all things, makes me suffer all at once, and in my most intimate recesses what the executioners will make me suffer little by little. O my child, it is love that, in all things, prevails over me and in me. For me, love is the nails, love is the scourging, love is the crown of thorns. For me, love is everything. Love is my perennial passion, whereas the torments inflicted upon me by men are confined to time. O my child, enter into my heart. Come and dissolve yourself in my love. As only in my love will you comprehend how much I have suffered and how much I have loved you. And you will learn to love me and to suffer for love alone. O my Jesus, since you call me into your heart to show me what love made you suffer, I enter. But as I enter, I see the portents of love that crown your head, not with material thorns, but with thorns of fire. that scourge you not with whips from the flagellum, but with lashes of fire, that crucify you with nails, not of iron, but of fire. Everything is fire, and penetrates deep into your bones, into your very marrow, and distilling all of your most sacred humanity into fire, it gives you mortal pains, certainly greater than the passion itself. And prepares a bath of love for all souls who want to be washed of any stain and acquire the rightful claims of the children of love. O love without end, I feel like drawing back before such immense love, and I see that in order to enter into love and comprehend it, I myself must be pure love. But, O Jesus, I am not. Nevertheless, since you desire my company and wish that I assimilate myself with your interior, I beg you to make me become pure love. I implore you to crown my head and each one of my thoughts with the crown of love. I implore you, O Jesus, to scourge my soul, my body, my faculties, my feelings, my desires, my affections. In sum, may everything be scourged with love. In this way, I will be in all things scourged and sealed with love. O endless love, let there be nothing in me which does not take life from love. O Jesus, center of all the love of human hearts, I beg you to nail my hands and my feet with the nails of love, so that completely crucified by love, I may become love, comprehend love, be clothed with love, be nourished by love, and be kept completely crucified within you. By this means, Nothing internally or externally may dare to divert me or take me away from love, O Jesus. Reflections and Practices. In this hour, abandoned by his eternal Father, Jesus Christ suffered such a burning fire of love that he was able to destroy all conceivable and imaginable sins, and inflame with his love all souls, even souls from millions and millions of worlds, and the souls of those who would squander this love by choosing to remain eternally obstinate in their evil and choosing to go to hell. Let us enter into Jesus, and after we have penetrated his whole interior, his most intimate recesses, his heartbeats of fire, his intelligence which were set ablaze, let us take this love and clothe ourselves on the inside and out with the fire of love with which Jesus burned. Then, emerging from him and pouring ourselves into his will, we will there find all souls. Let us give Jesus his love to each one of these souls, and touching their hearts and minds with this love, transform them completely into love. With Jesus' desires, heartbeats, and thoughts, we can erect Jesus within every creature's heart. By this means we shall bring him all souls. We shall bear him in their hearts and surround him with them, saying, O Jesus, we bring to you all souls as many other Jesuses, and we place them in your heart for your comfort and consolation. We have no other way to assuage your love than to draw every soul into your heart. If we do this, we will offer Jesus true consolation, as the flames that burned him are so intense that he continually utters, I burn with love, and yet there is no one to receive my love. Oh, please, comfort me by accepting my love, and in exchange grant me your love. In order to conform ourselves in everything to Jesus, we must enter within ourselves and apply to ourselves these reflections. Can we say in all that we do that there is a continuous flow of love between us and God? Our life is a continuous flow of love from God. When we think, it is a flow of love. When we work, it is a flow of love. Our word is love. Our heartbeats are love. Indeed, we receive everything from God, but do all these actions run toward God with love? Does Jesus find in us the sweet enchantment of his love running toward him, so that Enraptured by this enchantment, he may overflow in us with more abundant love. If we have not formed the intention in all that we do of running with Jesus in his love, we should enter within ourselves and ask him forgiveness for causing him the loss of the requital of the sweet enchantment of his love toward us. Do we let ourselves be formed by God's divine hands as the humanity of Jesus Christ let itself be formed? We must accept everything that happens within us and that is not sinful as God's divine crafting. If we fail to do so, we deny glory to the Father. We cause his divine life to escape us and we lose sanctity. Everything we experience on the inside, inspirations, mortifications, graces, is nothing other than God's crafting of love. Do we accept these things as God intends? Do we give Jesus the freedom to operate in us? Or do we see everything in human terms and as meaningless, thereby rejecting God's divine crafting and forcing him to fold his arms? Do we abandon ourselves in his arms as though we were dead, in order to receive all the blows which the Lord will dispose for our sanctification? My love and my all, may your love inundate me in my entirety, and vanquish everything that opposes you. Let my love always run to you, and dispel all the sadness others bring to your heart. I enter into the sorrows of our Blessed Mother. I receive them into my heart. I make them my own. And I offer them again to the Eternal Father, as though these sorrows of Mary were an act once again. I use these sorrows of Mary in order to impetrate that the kingdom of the divine will may come to reign on earth as soon as possible, so that Jesus may have his kingdom and his full dominion in souls, so that the fruits of his agony, of all of his sorrows, may be realized, and so that the fruits of the sorrows of our Blessed Mother may blossom in full effect. I enter into the moment in which a sword pierced her heart during the moment of the presentation. But it wasn't just a single sword, it was thousands and thousands of swords. All of the swords of the sufferings that she would undergo for all of us to have life, to have grace and redemption. The swords and the sufferings of all of the rejected graces, all of the rejected inspirations. She suffered on behalf of the whole human family. And so I offer this act of her presenting her son in the temple, which was for her a confirmation of her fiat to suffering everything and of giving birth to the world. I offer again this act of sacrifice of our Blessed Mother as though it were in act once again. And I offer my own heart together with hers. And I give my fiat to suffering whatever it is that God will have for me, so that I can help him give life to other souls, so that I can help him establish his kingdom. I enter into the moment in which Joseph and Mary had to flee with the child Jesus to Egypt because of the cruel King Herod ordered the death of all the firstborn, or of all children under 2. I enter into this sorrow that Mary experienced of knowing that little Jesus had suffered so much and was coming to give life to everyone, including to King Herod, but he was so ungratefully rejected. Not only did most souls not come and visit him, not only did many souls who should have known to come and find him not come and find him because of pride, but also this ruler Herod wanted him dead. And she carried in her heart the sorrow that as Jesus would be spared this time from death, thousands of little boys were being slaughtered. And in this slaughter of the innocents, she experienced not only the slaughter of the innocents at that time, but the slaughter of all the innocents of all times. And she experienced the pain of, of each and every abortion, of each and every child sacrifice, of all children who are abused and killed by adults, past, present, and future, of all children, of all innocent who are slaughtered for no reason. And not only is there a physical death, but there's a spiritual death, because all of the good that God wanted to do through those children, all of the graces he was to give them, the wonderful plan that he had for their lives was turned to ruin, and he was not able to even attempt to accomplish his designs upon them. And so she carried in her heart all of the deaths to the divine life, all of the deaths to each and every act of grace that was bestowed upon each child, had they lived the fullness of their years. And so I enter into this sorrow of our Blessed Mother, and together with her, I offer the Most Holy Trinity reparation on behalf of each soul that is lost, on behalf of each soul that is taken from this world by human means and not by God's will. And I offer God the glory as if these souls had remained on earth as long as God would have wanted them to, and as though they had lived their full lives in the divine will. And I offer all of these children greater accidental glory in heaven, offering them all of the acts that Jesus redid on their behalf in his interior, giving them more joy and bliss, as though they had lived their whole lives, and as though they had lived them in God's divine will. I enter into the moment in which Mary experienced the loss of the child Jesus in the temple. When the Holy Family traveled to the Holy City in order to celebrate the feast of Passover, they went into the temple and they prostrated themselves face down on the ground and adored the Divine Majesty for an extended period of time. And in this act, in which Jesus was 12 years old, it signified in a special way his offering himself for the salvation of the world. In a way, this journey to the temple during this Passover in Jesus' childhood was a confirmation or a representation, a replaying of the presentation in the temple. And it was a foreshadowing of his coming death on the cross. And so I enter into the moment in which the Holy Family lay prostrate before the Divine Majesty in the temple. And together with them, I offer myself entirely and completely for the glory of the Most Holy Trinity. That even though I am weak and broken and capable of doing nothing on my own, that despite this, God may use me as He wills, that He may make of me whatever He pleases. I give my fiat to anything He wants to make of me during my life, and I give my fiat to whatever death He has for me. And I enter into the moment in which Mary realized that Jesus had stayed, I enter into the moment in which Jesus, having stayed behind in the temple to teach the elders, and in this act he actually sacrificed. A great sorrow for him was knowing the sorrows that this hiding would cause his mother and his father, but he sacrificed his mother for the glory of the Father, to fulfill the Father's will, just like he would on the cross. And so the same sorrow that pierced our Blessed Mother pierced Jesus as well while he was teaching in the temple. It caused him great pain to leave her looking for him without being able to tell her where he was. It caused him great sorrow to know the anguish that she would experience during those 3 days of agony. But he offered himself to the Eternal Father for that purpose. And with this act of sacrifice, it strengthened them and prepared Mary for the moment of the Passion, in which he would be gone for 3 days, but actually killed. And so I enter into her heart, into these moments of most bitter agony, and I receive the effects of her sorrows, the effects of her longing, and her holy anxiety in looking for Jesus. I receive these effects into my soul. I receive the effects of her blind faith that trusted in God even when it didn't make any sense. I receive the effects of her sorrows into my soul in order to heal me and to strengthen me. And I pour these sorrows multiplied for each and every soul, past, present, and future, so that all souls may be strengthened in their sufferings, and that all souls may be given graces. And in a special way, I pour the balm of her sorrows into all souls who are experiencing spiritual darkness in whatever situation they find themselves. When the cross is really heavy and it doesn't make sense at the same time, and it seems that everything is lost, I pour the balm of her sorrows into all the moments in which it seems that the soul itself had ruined God's plan, as that may have been one of the temptations on her heart, a temptation to maybe blame herself for having lost Jesus in those moments of darkness, since it was her responsibility to watch over him and protect him. And so I pour the balm of her strength and her resolve and her surrender to God as the omnipotent, all-powerful one into all souls who are struggling with self-blame, into all souls who are blaming themselves for not being all-powerful or omnipotent, who are blaming themselves for humanly being incapable of perfectly fulfilling every single responsibility, who are struggling with self-blame over situations that they couldn't have possibly controlled. Even in moments of tragedy, into souls who, perhaps due to no negligence of their own, lost a child who was under their care. Maybe they looked away for just a couple of minutes and they came back and their child had tragically died somehow. And then they carried that weight in their heart. There are many souls across all times that carry crosses like this, crosses of guilt and of intense grief and sorrow. And so we pour the balm of our Blessed Mother's courage during these 3 days of her interior trials into the hearts of these souls, so that they may not give in to the lies of the enemy, who will poke them and prod them into despair, into self-blame, into self-hatred. I fuse into our Blessed Mother as she fixed her gaze always upon heaven, always upward. I fuse myself within her unwavering courage and her unwavering simplicity in always looking to God in every circumstance, in leaning not on her own understanding or on her own strength, but always relying on God to see her through. I fuse into our Blessed Mother's face that was unmoved and gazing forward and upward, in not allowing the devil to have even one word planted in her soul of doubt, and not giving the devil a chance to lie to her, not engaging in any sort of dialogue with him. I fuse into our Blessed Mother's courageous resolve and her faithfulness in never reflecting upon herself, to never looking inward, but always looking up. And I want to receive into my own soul these same qualities. I want to receive the sweet milk of our Blessed Mother's nourishment that she formed within herself for her children with her sorrows. I want to receive the fullness of the nourishment of her sorrows so that I may be strengthened and acquire and grow within myself the same virtues of my mother, so that I may be a living copy of her, so that she may live her life within me. That I may be courageous and unwavering despite the circumstances. I enter into the moment when our Blessed Mother met with Jesus on the way to his cross. That moment in which their eyes met each other, but they were unable to exchange loving gazes for long because the soldiers did not allow it and pulled Jesus away from his mother with kicks and shoves. I want to receive within my soul the balm of her courageous love that longed so much for that loving company with Jesus, that longed so much to be with him in that way. But this deep and holy longing of hers was denied to her through God's permissive will. And this act of love, this act of union, of communion with her son that was denied to her, but she resolved with her hearts to not stop loving him, and she accepted this act as coming from the hands of God. Even this act of being deprived of comforting her son, she accepted with full resignation, and she embraced as a sorrow in order to give life to her children. I enter into this moment and I want to receive the full effects of our Blessed Mother's sorrow in this moment into my soul. I want to receive the sweet milk that is an effect of the sorrow that she experienced into my soul to nourish me, so that my love may be nourished and strengthened by her love, to be able to withstand similar crosses in my life with the same unwavering resignation and peacefulness. I take this sorrow of our Blessed Mother, I absorb it and receive it into my soul, and I go around to all the souls that are experiencing a holy desire, a yearning and burning desire. Maybe they desired their children to come back to the faith. Maybe they desire their family to pray together. But the permissive will of the divine will allows the human freedom, allows these souls to resist. And I pour the balm of our Blessed Mother's sorrows into all of these hearts that are struggling with the pain of death to the holy desires that they have. May they be given the strength to suffer these divine privations with peacefulness and patience, so that their death, just like our Blessed Mother's death that she experienced in that moment, so that their death that they experience in these moments of being deprived of something holy and good, that their death may give life to others, that just like Mary, they may transform bitter thorns into roses for others, and for the greater glory of God, and for his kingdom to come reign in all the earth. I enter into the moment in which our Blessed Mother witnessed Jesus being nailed to the wood of the cross. I enter into the moment in which she witnessed him take his last breath and felt her heart die together with him. And even though she knew with unshakable faith that he would rise from the dead, even though she knew that he was God, and even though she knew that this had to happen to save all souls, everything around her seemed dead. All of the apostles had fled, had lost faith and hope, and she was left to comfort John and Mary Magdalene. Though she herself felt that she had nothing left. I enter into this moment of her profound, steadfast love that never ceased to give her fiat to God, the same fiat that she gave at the beginning, she gave all throughout those 3 hours of agony on the cross. And she never once uttered why God. She never once took back the offer that she made, and that she made from the first moment of her conception, the offer that she made when she sacrificed Jesus in the presentation of the temple. This painful moment, this excruciating death of her son, she knew it was going to happen. From the first moment she gave her fiat, and she knew it all of those years, and she carried it in her heart. She said fiat from the beginning, and she said fiat in each and every sacrifice throughout her life that she would endure. And all of these yeses, all of these fiats, gave her strength in this final moment, in this final fiat, to, with open hands, with open heart, that did not resist anything, that did not resist the horrible treatment from the soldiers, the mocking of the crowd, who mocked not only Jesus, but also her as his mother. I want to receive into myself this beautiful simplicity of Mary, this beautiful steadfast strength in never ceasing to say yes, in not offering any resistance in all of the sorrows and all of the injustices. And I need to draw strength from her for all the crosses that I have in my life, for all of the injustices God may ask me to bear. I need to draw strength from her. And so I receive into my soul all of her unflinching courage and resolve, and never ceasing to say fiat in the offering that she made, even up to the extreme moments. I want to receive into my soul from the sorrows of our Blessed Mother the grace of ultimate perseverance in giving my will to God throughout my entire life, even up to the extreme moment of the most painful sacrifice that he will ask of me. Fiat, fiat, fiat. I enter into the moment in which our Blessed Mother received Jesus into her arms. As she witnessed the nails being pried from his hands and his feet, and she held her dead son in her arms. I want to sustain her in the profound abandonment that she experienced in this moment, in which her help in her life, the source of her strength, was dead. I enter into her loneliness in not having Saint Joseph by her side in these extreme moments, and not having Jesus anymore as support, I enter into this moment of extreme loneliness that she must have experienced, and the whole weight of the world that was crushing her as she was partaking in Jesus' passion, even after he passed. And there was no one on earth to truly sustain her, because she was the source of all of the grace for the world. She was the source of faith and hope and love. And that faith was not being reciprocated by many of the souls who had run away. And so I enter into this moment of great sorrow in which she holds her lifeless son in her arms, all alone. And I want to offer her my little company. I want to receive these sorrows into my own soul as strength in the crosses that I will endure throughout my life, so that I may bear my sorrows like Mary in an unflinching and courageous way. Without succumbing to the lies of the enemy, even in moments of abandonment and loneliness, even in moments of death, even in the midst of the greatest disasters and the most horrendous injustices. And I place the little sorrows of my life together with the immense sorrows of our Blessed Mother to fly around for the good of all. And I multiply her sorrows in this moment of holding Jesus in her arms to be strength for all souls, past, present, and future. And I offer these acts of Mary in these moments as though she were really alive again on this earth. And I use these acts as coins, as powerful and as irresistible weapons of love to snatch the kingdom of the divine will from the most holy Trinity to reign more and more quickly in this earth. I enter into the moment in which Jesus was laid in the tomb, and our Blessed Mother experienced herself dying as she had to pull herself away from his most sacred humanity, the most precious treasure she had. But it was the divine will that wanted her to leave him enclosed within the tomb. She would have wanted to lock herself up within the tomb and stay there. But she knew it was time for her to leave. she knew that God wanted it. And so, in order to give her strength to make the most painful separation, which she felt incapable of making, even she, the Queen of Angels, the pure, the spotless one, conceived without original sin, who lived her whole life in the divine will, she didn't feel the strength to make the sacrifice that the divine will wanted of her. She didn't feel the strength to walk away from Jesus enclosed in the tomb. And so she placed her mouth at the point of his side that was pierced with a lance, and she lapped up the blood that was left in order to give her strength to make the sacrifice that the divine will wanted from her. And I fuse myself with our Blessed Mother in this act in which she laps up the blood from Jesus' pierced side. And I want to lap up that blood together with her, so that I may also have the strength to make the sacrifices that the divine will asks of me. I take this blood and I go around to all souls, past, present, and future, that are struggling to do God's will, who don't feel the strength to continue. And I give the blood of Jesus to each one of them. And I also pour the balm of our Blessed Mother's sorrows in this moment of Jesus being placed in the tomb. I pour these sorrows into all hearts so that they may be strengthened and reinvigorated to do God's will, and that they may be given peace in their sorrows. And I enter into the moment in which our Blessed Mother enclosed herself in the cenacle for those 3 days of agony. I receive into my soul her steadfast faith when all seemed lost, her unwavering courage, and her blind faith in never ceasing to believe in the resurrection, her unending love and never ceasing to pray and suffer for her children, even for the very ones that had killed her son. I offer you her unwavering sacrifice, and I receive this unwavering sacrifice into my own soul so that I can be strengthened to be able to continue to offer myself with Jesus as a living host for the salvation of souls. I draw from our Blessed Mother's perfect love in loving those who had made themselves her enemies and enemies of her Son. And I receive from her the strength and the love to be able to do the same. Because without her strength, without the strength of Jesus, I'll never be able to love heroically. I'll never be able to sacrifice for anyone or love those who have made themselves my enemy or enemies of Jesus. And so I draw from her strength and I ask her to transform my soul and make it more in her likeness, in God's likeness. So that God's love will be able to flow through me without impediment, and so that no matter the circumstances, He may continue His life within me because I don't hinder Him. He may continue His life just like He continued it within Mary after He died. I ask for her help and her grace to truly allow Jesus to make of me a living host, to truly allow Him to fuse Himself with me and to suffer on behalf of those who hurt Him, who hurt me. Fiat. I will be right back. But in this moment, let's just take this time to fuse into our Blessed Mother and allow ourselves to be dissolved in her heart and in her love, so that we may be more and more like her. I want to read some rounds from the the Faithful and Attentive book, the rounds of creation. And I want to pray these rounds in a special way, in honor of our Blessed Mother in the Our Lady of Lourdes, as today is her feast day. And as I pray these rounds, we want to use these rounds of going around through all creation to thank Jesus for having given Mary so many graces and blessings to make her the strong and steadfast woman that she is, to give birth to us all and to be our most wonderful mother. And we want to pray through these rounds that more souls may come to awareness of who our Blessed Mother is. We want to make reparation for all of the blasphemies against her Immaculate Heart, for all of the disbelief in her Immaculate Conception. We want to pour graces especially into the hearts of all Protestants who fail to recognize Mary as Queen, as sinless, as Mother of God, and all the dignity that entails. I am nothing, and God is all. My beloved Jesus, I disperse my nothingness in the immense and interminable light of your most holy will, to go about making my rounds in creation. In doing so, I ask your fiat to unveil itself in each good thing, in order to teach me both what it does toward the divine majesty and the lessons it wants to give to creatures. Then I will join your fiat in each thing, in order to repeat its acts of glorifying the Creator, doing so in the name of everyone. And I will also pray that man learns the lessons it wants to give, so that your divine will, feeling more attracted to man, may come to reign openly in its full triumph on earth as in heaven. Dear Mother Mary, always feeling the need of your assistance, please come with me to help me. Traveling in the immense sea of light of the divine will, your fiat, O Jesus, brings me first to consider the beautiful blue sky. Immediately, I want to cry out, I love you, I thank you, O God, for this beautiful sky. But the divine fiat, unveiling itself in the sky, shows me more. How it keeps this beautiful blue sky always steady and distended over the head of all, over every point of the earth, so that it is impossible to say where it begins or where it ends. This is the image of the divine being, which, never changing, is unshakable and eternal. It also shows me the night sky studded with stars. It is the image of the divine being, that while the sky is one, so the divinity does one single act, and the multiplicity of the stars in the sky represent the innumerable effects of this single act of God. Then the sky says to man, look, take me as your model, always distended over your head, and always be steadfast in good as I am. O divine majesty, I unite with your will hidden in the sky to love and glorify your unshakable being, your eternal being, and your single act with its multiplicity of effects, which encloses angels, men, and all created things. And I pray your will to render creatures steadfast and good, so that they might be the reflection of heaven and enjoy the happiness that brings a continuous and never interrupted good. Traveling on, your fiat brings me to the sun. Oh, how the divine fiat veiled in the sun extols the divine being. The sun sends forth its light and heat to invest all the earth. The sun sending forth its light and heat to invest all the earth is the image of the light and love of the Supreme Maker who loves everyone and does good to all. And like the light of the sun from the height of his majesty, he descends below, silently, without noise, into all hearts, even into hell. Nothing escapes his eye. So your divine fiat glorifies and magnifies your eternal light, your inextinguishable love, and your all-seeingness. But there is still more. As the sun invests the earth with its light and heat, it felicitates and embellishes all of nature. It causes the green plants to grow, gives sweetnesses to the fruits, and perfumes the flowers, while also giving them their various shades of beauty. Your divine fiat in the sun, by means of the plants, fruits, and flowers, brings to man terrestrial happiness. So your fiat in the sun also glorifies your infinite sweetness, your innumerable flavors, and the indescribable hues of the beauties of your divinity. And while it loves and extols these divine qualities, it says to man from within the sun, "Be always light as I am in all you do," so that the light converts you entirely into heat, and you become a single flame of love for your Creator. Look at me. By being always light and heat, I possess sweetness. So true is it that I communicate it to the plants, and from the plants to you. You too, if you will always be light and heat, will possess the divine sweetness. You will no longer have anger or bitterness in your soul. You alone will be on par with me. Since God made me for you, and you were made for him, it is quite just that you be for him more son than I. Divine Majesty, uniting with your will hidden in the sphere of the sun, I come to praise, love, and glorify your eternal light, your inextinguishable love, your all-seeingness, your infinite sweetnesses, your innumerable flavors, and your indescribable beauties. And I beg for creatures all these divine qualities which the sun contains, so that your will, finding divine qualities among them, might come to reign openly with its full triumph in the midst of human generations. O my Jesus, how beautiful it is to live in your will. In the unity of the supreme light, to be up to date with what all created things mean, and to praise, magnify, and glorify the supreme Creator with his own will, in all his images which each thing contains. But my Jesus seems to say, "Continue on, you have only just begun." So, Lord, continuing on to the waters of the sea, your fiat unveils itself to me. Therefore, together with your will hidden in the sea, I love and glorify your divine purity in its crystalline waters, your power in its mighty waves, your eternal motion and steadiness in the constant churning while ever remaining in its basin. I love and glorify your justice portrayed in the agitated and stormy sea, and your peace portrayed in the pacific and calm sea. I hear the sea saying to man, "Be pure as these crystalline waters. Therefore, always walk toward heaven. Otherwise, you will putrefy as these waters would putrefy without their constant motion." Then, in the sea's constant murmur, I hear it saying, "The murmur of your prayer must be constant if you want to overcome your enemies and your rebellious human will, which keeps the divine will from extending in you the reign of its Pacific Sea." I place my soul into the waves of the ocean and the waves of the constancy, and I desire to receive into my soul an increase of this quality of, of constancy, an increase in this virtue of praying without ceasing. Because on my own, I'm really weak, and sometimes the circumstances of life are so hard, and thoughts can come into your mind so quickly and overtake you that it can be really easy to lose the spirit of continuous prayer without even realizing it. And then it becomes easy to fall into defects. And so I want to take this moment and just dissolve my soul in the waves of this ocean that never stop. And I want to receive in my soul, in this moment, just an increase of this quality of constancy and power and strength. So that I might be able to pray without ceasing, with constancy, with the same power and strength of the waves of the ocean that never cease to crash and to push no matter what stands in their way. No matter what sorts of fish are swimming in their sea, no matter what boat is coming toward it, no matter how big the boat is, the waves of the ocean that don't cease to murmur always, even if they hit against a solid rock. So may my soul be as steadfast and powerful, as constant as the waves of the ocean, no matter what circumstances come to try to pull me away from prayer. No matter what thought patterns the demons will put into my mind to try to pull me away from prayer. No matter what everybody around me is doing, may my soul be as constant in prayer as the waves of the ocean. From the moon, my Jesus, your fiat brings me to, from the sea, my Jesus, your fiat brings me to contemplate the moon. The moon, with the attractive force of its gravity, continually causes the sea to surge as it strives to draw the sea toward itself and away from the earth, thus causing the tides. Your fiat hidden in the moon unveils itself and shows me that this is the image of the divine attractiveness that always moves to draw man away from the earth to itself for whom man was created. The moon says to man, "Lift yourself above the things of the earth and live for the things of God," so that, like me, he will share with you his divine attractiveness. Then, in all you say and do, you will attract souls to him who will be hidden in you. And the moon also says, "I am the image of one living in the divine will. Growing smaller and smaller, I disappear into nothingness in the light of the sun at the time of the new moon. Then, having filled myself with its light, I emerge again from the sun to make my rounds through the night, giving this light universally to all dwelling in the darkness. So you too, let your nothingness disappear in the eternal sun of the divine will, so that, like me, you will be able to work in a universal manner. In filling yourself with divine light, you will give this light to all souls, especially those living in the darkness of sin and ignorance." Supreme Majesty, I unite with your holy will hidden in the moon to praise and magnify your divine attractiveness. And I pray you to lift souls above the things of the earth, and drawing them to yourself, communicate to them this divine attractiveness. Then, being attracted by your own attractiveness in them, you will not be able to resist in coming with your fiat to reign in all souls. I also implore you to call souls in greater numbers into your holy will, to make their rounds. In this way, they will more quickly fill up the void of the human will working in the divine. For when this void is filled, your will shall establish its reign on earth, and you shall have your longed-for rest in creation. Your fiat moves me along to teach me its secrets in the rainbow. The beautiful variety of colors of the rainbow all come from the one light of the sun. This brilliant display of colors is the image of all the divine attributes or virtues found in the single unending light of your eternal will, all kept in perfect harmony and balance by the attribute of your divine order. The divine will hidden in the rainbow says to man, "Strive to be virtuous in all you do, so that, like me who, with my beautifully colorful arcs, touch the heavens, you too can become beautiful and reach great heights in sanctity. Better yet, imitate the tiny and transparent droplets of water which are the substance of which I am made, and which, when invested with the light of the sun, refract all the colors of the sun in perfect order and harmony. To become tiny, you must recognize your nothingness. To become transparent, you must recognize all the good done through you as coming from God. Then, having become tiny and transparent, enter into the order for which you were created, which is to enter into the divine will, to be invested with its innumerable rays of light. You will then shine beautifully with all the colors of the divine virtues of God in their fullness, arrayed in his divine order and harmony, becoming a rainbow that even enraptures God." Your divine fiat now brings before me the trees of the earth, and shows me your boundless goodness and your infinite sacrificial love, glorified by your will, hidden in each tree. Yes, trees, like you, Jesus, are generous and give everything they have to man. Not only do trees shade us from the summer heat with their leaves, delight us with their beautiful blossoms and fragrance, and give us their sweet fruits and tasty nuts for food, but they also give us their lifeblood and their useful sap. Still more, they allow themselves to be cut that their wood might be used to form useful objects or to build dwellings for shelter, and they even offer themselves to be consumed in fire to warm us. In sum, trees give everything they have, holding nothing back. They are so much like you, dear Jesus, that you wanted to be fastened to a tree, as you gave your whole self, even to the last drop of your blood, in your act of being crucified, all consumed in your love for man. So your will, hidden in each tree, wants to say to man, if you want to be bound to and inseparable from Jesus, imitate me and give everything, even to giving your lifeblood and to consuming yourself in love. It's true that it will cost you all that you have and are, but you will have the great joy of knowing you've pleased your Jesus immensely by helping give life to your brothers whom he so loves and wants to save. And in your very wounds, you'll find the eternal bonds that will make you one with Jesus forever. The trees also are an image of God's steadfastness, as they remain firm through every season. In the fall, their leaves turn color, and, dying, they fall to the ground. Then come the winter storms, the strong winds and the cold, and the barren branches become covered with ice and snow. To all, the trees appear dead, but like God, who works hidden wonders and wins when he appears to be losing, so too the trees are doing a hidden work underground as they dig their roots down deeper, so that in the spring they will be able to send out new shoots, supporting a greater crown of leaves, and bring forth more fruit than before. Your will, hidden in every tree, gives man this lesson. Remain steadfast in your pious practices in times of darkness and cold when all seems lost. In these times, secure yourself all the more to God by digging in deeper the roots of faith and hope, waiting for Jesus, your Son, who, after a season, will return with the light of his grace and the heat of his love. When he comes, you'll find yourself able to give him greater glory, for remaining steadfast and deepening these roots has enabled you to produce more abundant fruit than before. And Jesus has said, "In this is my Father glorified, that you bring forth very much fruit." Once again, I unite with your adorable will, O God, this time hidden in each tree. To love and glorify your goodness, your sacrificial love, your steadfastness, and your hidden works, in which you are surprisingly victorious when all seems lost. With this love and glory that I place in each tree, I also place my cry to you. Give to souls your divine goodness and the heroic sacrificial love of Jesus. Help all to be steadfast, especially in the dark night of the soul, and to continue to believe and hope when all appears to be lost. Then, Seeing your creatures imitating Jesus' goodness and love, and so faithful to you, remaining steadfast through thick and thin, you shall be drawn to establish the reign of your will on earth, when there will be no more cold and dark seasons. For the sun of your will shine in its full splendor continuously on everyone. Now your fiat has me looking into the lofty heights of the sky, and I see the majestic eagles flying high on the currents of wind. Unveiling itself in these eagles, your fiat shows me that this is the image of the immeasurable height and loftiness of the infinite sanctity of God. Then I listen for the lesson it teaches man through them, and I hear these eagles say to man, "If you want to fly high, close to God like we do, stretch out your wings of faith and hope. Then, putting this faith and hope into motion, which is charity, you'll begin to fly. And catching the currents of wind in your wings, which are the Holy Spirit, you'll fly with him to great heights of sanctity." Most High God, as I come with your divine will, hidden in the high-flying eagles, to adore and glorify your infinite holiness, I implore you in every movement of wind and in every flight of every eagle to increase faith, hope, and charity in souls, so that, seeing them flying swiftly in the heights towards you, you may be moved to quickly send down your fiat to reign in all souls, so that all will be endowed with your own divine sanctity, and you will receive the greatest possible glory from man. My Jesus, as I continue to travel through creation, your divine fiat presents to me the rose, and unveils to me what it, hidden in the rose, does toward the divine majesty. Ah, how your holy will in the rose glorifies you, and I join with your will in giving you the same glory. In the rare elegance of the rose, I glorify your incomparable beauty. In its delicacy, I glorify the tenderness of your loving mercy. In its exquisite fragrance, I glorify the sweet odor of your infinite sanctity. And in its unblemished petals closed tightly around its center, protected by its thorns and opening only for the sun, I glorify your divine purity. And the rose says to man, "Guard carefully the purity of your soul. Keep watch over your intentions and motives. And like me, who opens only for the sun, do everything with the pure intention of pleasing God alone." I keep myself for the sun alone, even using thorns to protect myself from others. So you too must keep yourself for Jesus alone, even if at times you must displease others in doing so. In doing this, keeping yourself pure in all you do, you too will appear beautiful and fragrant before God, blossoming before him in a display more beautiful than mine. Then I join your will in the rose, glorifying your unending generosity. God always wants to give, And the more we take from him, the more still does he offer. And when you, dear Jesus, were on this earth, this generosity became still more magnanimous, so that the more we wounded and hurt you, the greater the graces you obtained for us from the Father. See how the rose is the image of this magnanimous generosity? The more the blossoms are picked and cut off from the plant, the more blossoms does it produce. In this the rose says to man, "Be like me, who freely allows the gardener to cut away at me, as much as he wants, and allows the hand of God to do whatever he wills with you, however painful this may be. Then you too will produce more and become more beautiful and pleasing in the eyes of God than you ever dreamed possible." Supreme Majesty, I have joined your will hidden in the rose, in glorifying your beauty, the tenderness of your loving mercy, the sweet odor of your infinite sanctity, and your divine purity and your magnanimous generosity. Therefore, I beseech you in every rose blossom, in every stem, leaf, and thorn, and even in all the roots of every rose bush, to help your creatures produce these same divine attributes in themselves, so that finding these in your creatures, you will be moved to make your will reign openly in their midst. Then you will no longer feel the painful thorn of the rebellious human will, but rather you will be contented and glorified in seeing them abundantly blossoming with the fullness of all your virtues. I enter into all of the acts of all the saints, both known and unknown, past, present, and future. I make these acts my own, and I cover them with the fragrance of the divine will, so that all of these saints may experience an increase in their accidental glory, that they may receive the glory as if they had done all of their acts in the divine will. And as they experience this increase of glory, may they be moved to help us establish the kingdom of the divine will on earth as in heaven, in our hearts and in the hearts of the whole human family. May they be moved to help us to be courageous and constant and steadfast like them. I want to receive into my soul everything that Jesus suffered throughout the course of his life, and most especially all of the acts of his passion, all of the sorrows he experienced in the Garden of Gethsemane. And taking these sorrows of Jesus within my soul, I multiply myself over the head of every soul in purgatory, and I want to pour the entire effects of Jesus' passion over each one of them, so that all of their sins may experience the atoning balm, that like a rain of light, the divine qualities and all the sufferings of Jesus may shower upon them and bring them peace and consolation, and help them to ascend more quickly into heaven. And as these souls in purgatory experience the peace and consolation that comes from Jesus' perfect life in the divine will, may they be moved in a special way to help us to grow deeper in the divine will, so that this kingdom may be established more quickly in all the world, so that Jesus may have his full triumph, that our Blessed Mother may have her full triumph, and that the face of the earth may be renewed. I also want to offer, in a special way, the entire life of the little daughter of the divine will, Luisa Piccarreta. Everything she suffered, everything she did, all of her love of God, all of her longing for heaven, the purity of her love, and the heroism of her sacrifice. I place it in act once again, as though she were on the earth right now. And I use this life of Luisa as a irresistible prayer, as an irresistible weapon to assuage the divine throne to grant us what we ask for, that his will be known and reign in the human generations, and so that creatures may return into the order, place, and purpose for which they were created by God. Fiat. All right, everybody, thanks for praying. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you on Friday, and happy feast of Our Lady of Lourdes. Do something kind for our Blessed Mother.